In the wake of heavy downpours in the northeastern parts of the country, which include Limpopo and Mpumalanga, urgent intervention is required from government. Several people are displaced, while others have lost family members. Joining us for a conversation now on how the government will be assisting families, we are now joined by Human Settlements Minister Thembi Simelane, and she joins us now in studio for more on this conversation. Minister, thank you so much for your time and for joining us here in studio. Perhaps maybe let's start off here. What is your reaction as government to this devastation that we are seeing wreaking havoc in two provinces, which is the province of Limpopo as well as Mpumalanga?
Well, I think we may firstly pass our condolences to the families that have lost their loved ones and are still searching. Government response has been very prompt, from evacuation in both Limpopo and Mpumalanga, because our South African early weather service early warning systems are very sharp, and we are appreciative to the communities that were able to respond positively. We had not anticipated the first levels at the amount of the rain that poured. If you would have noticed, in Limpopo we've had a very rainy December with about 7 fatalities, even before the recent rains that has pushed the number to around 11 fatalities. And unfortunately, there are still family members which are searching for their loved ones. Much as we don't like to say that, but there is a possible increase in terms of fatalities. All 8 districts, 3 in Mpumalanga, 5 in Limpopo, their joint operation teams were up and running prior the pouring of the rain. We were able to get into the baseline in estimating using the early warning systems of government to be able to say, where is our response rate? Our human settlements team are on the ground. We're almost ready. We've done about 1,355 in terms of assessment structures. Of course, we're still expecting a level of about 10%, as a warning at 10%, which is the highest, the maximum, between today and Sunday. And the early warning system says will subside around Tuesday. So we're hopeful that the response roads has been the same from the Minister, Public Works and road departments in both provinces have been able to be attentive into the matter. Schools and education have also been attentive, from prevention of fatalities. You will know what happened to, unfortunately, children in Mtata, which a bus was swept away and 10 learners were lost. This time we're able to even move the calendar, which possibly could still be moved into the further week on. We're anticipating it will subside. They may start school this Monday as in day after the weekend, but we do see that it will only be subsiding. So a consolidated approach of government from social development led by the premiers in both provinces has been much appreciated by National.
And just yesterday, we saw the president making his way to Limpopo and promising people in Limpopo that help is on the way and that they will be helped in terms of rebuilding their lives and rebuilding their structures. When you look at both provinces, and of course with another warning coming in for the weekend, we also know that KZN has also been issued with another warning. In terms of how will these communities be getting this necessary help in terms of rebuilding their homes, how will that look like?
Well, we are working jointly through our JOC with the municipalities. Our assessment is not only about the house, it's futuristic, but as I'm saying, weather services is able now to indicate that what will be the next weather pattern, even if it's 50 years, 100 years to come. There are people who will have to assist and relocate them from where they have been. You might have seen somewhere very close in Limpopo and both in Mpumalanga, close to the Letaba River and any other river that they've been residing on. So you need the provision of land from the municipality, and they're hands on deck to do that for us to put temporary residential units and ultimately houses as a human settlement. You might have seen in the visit that you indicate that the president has landed into it, almost the whole area where there has been houses that has been wiped off. Most of our beneficiaries also come from the muddy houses who have lost almost everything that they've had. They are part of the beneficiaries who are supposed to be utilizing in our emergency response disaster in relation to human settlement. Minister Tlhabisa, as part of the team of the Social Compact, in terms of making sure that we respond holistically as government in relation to disaster, is also has put up an IMC which will be consolidated of all departments, including water. We've not talking about water infrastructure, which has been wiped off. Unfortunately, they are unable to do the assessment as ourselves fully so until a little bit of water subsides. So we're hoping that we'll all will be on the ground from Tuesday onwards to make sure that we're now no longer coming to observe and see. We're coming to bring aid directly into people whose infrastructure has been damaged.
You're talking about infrastructure, you're talking about water. I suppose also electricity also comes to the fore. There's issues of houses, schools, clinics, roads. How much does government anticipate this will be costing to sort of repair all of these problems in Limpopo as well as Mpumalanga?
Our preliminary figures for both provinces are putting us at about 5 billion each, roads inclusive and housing. But remember, as I am saying, there could be a structure that is falling as we are sitting here. So our assessment is still at a provisional level to assist us to classify under COCTA the level in which the disaster will be at, and that will be allowing us jointly with the province to unlock additional funding. For example, in human settlement, emergency and disaster funding is mostly a responsibility at national. That's the money that doesn't get to provinces. Our annual budget for this financial year has been 350 million. So I've got to share that with the 3 provinces, but it goes beyond, which means I may have to be allowed to reprioritize on some of the futuristic plans in terms of the budget so that we could be able to accommodate a disaster. The same will be roads, the same will be any other. I mean, you would have seen how tourism has been impacted. We have not done that assessment on both provinces because we are still mostly ensuring that we save lives and we evacuate people who are in danger.
Touching on futuristic plans, we now know from the Weather Service that the likes of KwaZulu-Natal should anticipate torrential rains. You know, they are prone to torrential rains. This is nothing new for them. How prepared are you as government to deal with the impact of KwaZulu-Natal?
The same as we have been prepared in the 2 provinces that are currently facing this from as early as the beginning of December when we were notified of this. The same is in KZN. What we obviously cannot be able to provide is the emotional damage that our people go through. What do you call a home if it gets to be washed away today? Even if you were anticipating that there may be heavy rain, the impact is very negative and it needs necessary attention. And social development is also bringing psychological services on site to assist those families. We are ready in as much as we could be able to deal with the numbers that will finally be confirmed for relocation into better areas and put structures. But remember, we're just a segment of the disaster. Then if you move people, Department of Basic Education needs to come and say, oh, now I need scholar transporter for scholar A. She's no longer staying there, she's schooling there. Or remove and exchange in the schools in which they're at. So a disaster takes a whole lot of 12 months or so in rearranging better and best the way you can the lives of our people. The same with health facilities and any other facility that our community uses.
And Minister, something you also spoke about is the impact of tourism. I mean, we saw people being evacuated out of the Kruger National Park this week, and that has also been submerged underwater because of these floods. And in terms of the impact of tourism, how devastating has this been?
Well, we have not yet started, as I've said. The IMC in total will be sitting to the departments which are beyond the social cluster. That is tourism, it could be economic development. We don't know how many shops would have been destroyed, malls and everything else. So we're getting into a bigger team that makes sure it looks into the whole area and unpack it. That is why I'm saying it's the minimal rate at a provisional level, at least, which looks into making sure that there's day-to-day life that currently happens. You need to be able to build a bridge, or you need to find a way of how people need to cross from one area to the other, you need the diving unit of the SAPS to be patrolling in the water 24/7 to make sure that they assist people. But we still are saying to our people, let them be vigilant in this coming weekend in both Limpopo and Mpumalanga. Of course, we are getting ready with MEC Duma in relation to the warning that we've received in KZN. And it does seem it's going to be a busy beginning of the year for us in relation to disasters.
All right, Minister, thank you so much for your time once again.
Thank you very much.
All right, that is a Human Settlements Minister there, Thembi Simelane, just giving us their response as government and how they will be on the lookout in terms of the new warnings, particularly now for KwaZulu-Natal. We do know that this weather warning continues throughout the weekend. We also understand that it is expected to somewhat subside for Limpopo from Monday onwards, but the work also then begins for KwaZulu-Natal.